What's up, y'all? It's your girl Kimmy Kim, of course, with Sip and Spill. And what's up, Ed?
What's up, Kimmy Kim? This is what we're talking about today. We're gonna have a good time as we always do on our show. Talk about these subjects that I think all of us like to talk about and converse
Right.
about. And this is one of the great times that we have together. We talk and get to go through these different subject matters. So
So
I'm waiting.
today, um, we're talking about past experiences ruining your current relationships and careers and things like that. So I want to talk about, Ed, a conversation that I had earlier today about a gentleman was explaining to me about his experiences and the way he view and look at other people because of that. And I think when you do that, that's one thing because you need to respect the fact that that is your experience. So that's the way you look at things. So I was explaining to him about our show and telling him we are a variety show. We like to laugh, we get serious. I said, I think we've laughed, cried, tears, everything on this show because Ed and I are completely vulnerable when we hear. And the reason why we're vulnerable is so you all can see the authenticity in us. Okay. So being authentically us means that we have to be able to show who we are. So some things are more touching than others. I think I've cried about my son. Y'all just learned that I was just sick recently. We've kind of been through that. Ed have cried about the loss of his mother. We've been up and down about things. And the reason why I feel like you all can relate to us is simply for those things. But we all have different experiences the way we show up in the world. That's that sum of that. So I was trying to listen to him. And basically, the story went just like this. He stated that he got a certain way that he look and view women. And he was saying, and it's because his women experience. And
Mm,
then he was saying that he watched a few of our shows.
okay.
And he was just elaborating on the fact that he was like, damn, you really is a smart woman. And he said, and you just have like something on you, like it's just, something on you. And so I didn't engage like this, cry and say, well, what's that, what you think on me, or what that, you know what I'm saying? He said, you seem extremely sure. And I said, that is the one of the best compliments I would say I would take. I said, you know why? The reason why I'm sure is because the wisdom that I've gained is from healed pain. So that means I had to go through something to be able to be where I'm at. So he wanted to talk about why he viewed women and what his thoughts were
Mm,
on the women. And his
wow.
thought is that he felt like women don't give the men the love that they need and deserve. And that's why they so quick to go cheat. He said, or they so quick to, feel like it's so easy for a man to feel as if they just not validated in any way. So
Mm,
my question to him, and then I'll let you comment on that, what I just shared with you, and we can continue. But my question to him was, do you value and do you honor and do you respect yourself? Do you feel that you're worthy of a love of loyalty and commitment from a woman? Or do you feel just your experiences of women that you have experienced made you feel that way? Do you have any responsibility in that at all? That was my first question to him.
what was his answer?
His answer was he felt like the women that he experienced did not show him that. He felt like that yes, that he did. He said he do value himself. He do honor himself. And I said, give me an example. So Ed, can you give me an example how you value yourself, how you honor yourself?
Well, I'll say it like this, and this is something that we talk about, and it may come off, or I don't want to say it like that, but it may seem a little certain way when I say it, but I don't put my hands in the lion's mouth, which meaning again, or I don't cast my pearl among the swine, which means I don't give my good to whackness. So if you at our age, Kimmy, there's certain things that we've done. I know you're very intentional on who you put your energy into.
Right.
Very intentional. I know how you operate, know how you move. And if
Mm-hmm.
it's not aligning where you're trying to go, you
Mm-hmm.
don't put a lot of energy in it, which means you value your time.
Right.
I'm the same way. You value your time. Even if the immediate results are a little bit tricky, I just know this because I'm your friend. Even if it's not immediately there, you know you've sown seed for the future. You know that there's something there that you can get good ground from. And what I say, when you value yourself, in my opinion, from our limited knowledge, my so many years on this earth, yours, I'll speak for myself as you asked me to, is that I know my value. And then because I know my value, I don't invest my value in people in situations that I don't think respect it. And it shouldn't take 3 years, 2 years. How do you, oh my God, all of a sudden she don't value me. That's just, to me, I don't know about him, I'm not, or anybody. I'm not speaking on anybody. Myself, I can kind of feel the valuation. If I don't feel like I'm being celebrated in a way from the people that I want to be celebrated by, I don't invest a lot of time in that. So I don't let it go to like they don't value me, they don't see me a certain way because I've already valued myself. And if I feel there's some indifference, if I feel there's some activity jumping off, if I feel there's some inconsistencies of something, whatever, because I'm gonna put in what I believe in, what I want, I'm gonna put that time and effort into it. If I feel like I'm not getting the reciprocal on that, I'm not gonna be told, I'm not gonna be beating a dead horse on that. So,
Mhm.
in order to value yourself, your radar of consciousness should be on. It's almost like, it's funny when it comes to women, as soon as the temperature changes, especially women who are anemic, it don't have to be freezing cold. No, oh, there's a temperature change. The temperature didn't drop. I don't need to get cold and frozen to realize the temperature dropped. Soon as that temperature started to dip a little bit, a few degrees, I need my blanket. I need to get some hot tea. You know your body. You don't have to wait until it's dire cold and get frostbitten to know that it's cold. Once you know, because you know your body, your senses are on to say, oh, this is not for me. I need to change because otherwise I'm going to be in this abyss of this hell of freezing or this Antarctic space that I don't want to be in. So my opinion, based off of my experiences, are that I don't put myself in a position of people who don't value me because I can feel that, well, just how you look at me. There's certain words, certain cute phrases, there's certain interactions, there's certain regard. People responding you back, calling you back, or whatever. That's my opinion on that. So in that regard, you ask a question to anyone and they say they value themselves, but yet and still they are being, it's like somebody's bamboozling, and that happens far too often. That shouldn't be time after time after time. It ain't just women. It ain't just them. It's what you're giving them. It's what you allow. It's who you are choosing. Same thing with me. We had a conversation, Kim and Kim, and you gave me a straight up, yo, look, you choose them terrible. You just straight up told me like just call it what it is. Your choices are terrible. Okay, cool. Now my choices in that regard were terrible based off the overall what I was looking for in the future, but it wasn't like they didn't care about me. They wanted more than what, so I didn't choose right in that way. But as far as a disregard to me, no, there was no disregard to me. I'm always treated where I would want to be treated. It's just that I can't speak for everybody. So that's my reality on that. So go ahead. I'm
I
sorry.
mean, your opinion. When I asked him, did he value himself? He felt that he did. But my take on that is with everyone, and I will start with myself. One of the most things that women are very sad about, and men are too. I'm just gonna say woman. Not only me being one, I have experienced this, and that is, one giving. You feel like you give too much of yourself. You feel like you make yourself a priority. You feel like this is experience that you have in different relationships, in marriages, friendships. It's all of it. It's not just one thing. And really, you have to, as I always say, stop, look in the mirror, do a reflection, and say, this is what I want, and align that. But that has to happen every day. So what I told him, and sharing that story, is that not even just with yourself, is that the type of people that and we did a show about this, the compatibility versus chemistry. Okay, I can have great chemistry. Like him and we had great chemistry to talk, to be able to talk. He wanted to hear what I have to say. He felt that, okay, I can listen to what he got to say. You're an easy person to talk to. That doesn't mean like, oh yeah, now I want to be in love and be in a relationship with you. You know what I'm saying? So it's not one of those things, but it's one of those things. Yes, you're gonna meet people that are set apart from other people, and you could think like, damn, we got this great thing. We have to be, but absolutely not. It's when there's a challenge when you know that there is something else. And most of the time, you don't look for that. You look for all the lovey-dovey good stuff. But it's a challenge when they're not that lovey-dovey. So when I asked him about the current relationship that he is currently in, how is he valued? Is he honored? Do he value her? Do she honor him? Do he honor her? Back and forth. And he said he felt like the relationship is suffering because he can admit after watching one of our shows, and I got to figure out whichever one because we do so many, that he'd have to look at things differently because he realized that he's holding her for something that don't have nothing to do with her from a past experience. So in my experience, I would say this. Um, in my experience of a man that I feel like that he went through his past spouse and he was still had some unresolved issues with that. This is what I mean when I say you shouldn't just jump into another relationship so fast. I understand loneliness and being alone and realizing you're alone and watching all of the other couples and reading all type of books and that got you in romance and all that and shows and that shit would make you listen to all the love songs. It would make you want to be. You know what I'm saying? Some people ask me, well, damn, why you listen to Moneybagg Yo every day? Because I'd rather be thinking about taking a nigga out than be, you know what I'm saying, in that type of way, than be sitting up crying over some love that I know that is just useless. It's going to hurt me. You got to put which way the pain is going to be. It's going to be pain, but I'm going to control that narrative. So meaning that my past experience doing all that didn't get me nowhere. So like right now, what I experienced in my life is that the relationship that he didn't close, that door that he didn't close, he left open. When he met me, I didn't know that at the time. I couldn't even see that at the time because what he was giving me was replica. Okay. And then time go by and you see other things and you see who the person really is. That's why I truly believe that's where that statement comes from for me about being 100% authentic, because now I can smell out the fakeness or the replica and I don't really see you. Because the worst thing I think you can do, Ed, is bring your past shit to someone else. So because this nigga didn't do this and that, so with you, I treat you that kind of way. My new man, I treat him that kind of way. Now listen, there is some strength in that. And I'm gonna say that is that, look, because I experienced that, if I experienced getting my ass whooped, okay, by the guy, the next man ain't gonna be able to touch me, right? If I'm strong. Or how about in my mindset, I don't feel like that. So I constantly and consistently keep meeting men that keep beating my ass. Because that's what I think is love. I don't know no other way. Because I haven't allowed myself to expand in my mind that, damn, there's another way. So then guess what? I meet a guy that don't beat my ass. So I smack the shit out of him. And he like, I'm not a violent nigga. Like, what you doing? And I'm like, why are you not trying to hit me back? Because that's all I'm used to. So at some point, we have to grow within ourselves. And a lot of times, being lonely can make you miss that. For real, it would. Like when you get by yourself, you just want to hurry up and fill that spot. Sometimes we need to sit in it and be like, I'm enjoying this moment. I tell Ed this a lot of times, guys, about sometimes you need to enjoy that moment because tomorrow is not promised, okay? But not just promised like you will be here, but I'm talking about like real talk, like truly not promised. You so busy worrying about that, this person, that option, that thing, that, and they all exist, but just enjoy where you at because that can change. That's why I say a person have to continuously choose you all the time. Not just yesterday, not just every day, even in marriage. You got to be chosen every day. I got to choose to still mess with you, be with you, love you in every kind of way, or whatever life that we created. I still have to choose you. Another friend of mine said this to me, and I think it hit home. And he said, love comes in phases, which is absolutely correct. He said, love comes in phases. And where I loved you yesterday, I'm more than likely, I'm not going to love you that way today. Now, it could be I love you less, or it could be I love you more. But of course, we all want that person to continue to love you more. But the only way you're going to be able to do that, you got to also be able to know what that is. And that is, so I can't make nobody love me. I can't make no, guys, we can't make a person look at us the way we want them to look at us, be with us. They can be all with you in every different kind of way. But if you're not it, you're not it. You got to be able to know the difference to be able to say, do you love yourself enough to just say, if this all you're going to give me, then that's all I'm accept. And then you can't get mad when that's all they going to give you. You got to be the power to cut it off. I'm going to go a little personal just for a second and say this about myself, is that in a relationship, I had decided that I no longer wanted that type of relationship. It just didn't work for me. He didn't understand it. He didn't get it. And he was just tripping. Like he really, really tripped. And I said, I get it. I get, you're like, wow. Because you're like, I ain't did this. You did the typical stuff that people break up for. But it didn't work for me. It just no longer, I saw that it no longer fit in my life. So I was there. I had his back, his front, his peripheral. I did all that. But I felt what I was shelving out as we doing this constantly, I felt like I wasn't getting nowhere near in return of that. And it wasn't making me feel good. Or I was dealing with it, which a lot of people do. Like, I've been in with this person this long a time, or I'd rather be without them than not be. That's why I say it's power in being by yourself. It's power, man. Because not to the point to where you get complacent and you're like, okay, now when you finally do get somebody, you find that every little thing wrong with them. But just to the point to where you can be able to say, I worked on me and now I know what to do. You can't let past experiences ruin your current relationship. Allow that new experience to happen. It's going to be new. It's going to be fresh. It's going to be unfamiliar, but you got to allow it to happen. What happened to you in the past was an experience for you to get a lesson. Be a blessing in your new experience to allow it to, flower. You got a comment on that, Ed?
Yeah, I agree with that all the way. It's so crazy just going back a little bit when you were talking about those past experiences and those traumas um that you don't get over. And when you say wisdom is what the phrase you said, wisdom is healed pain.
I said my wisdom, yep, wisdom is healed pain. That's
So
absolutely
you
correct.
once you heal from
Mm-hmm.
pain, you
Yep.
gain wisdom. So it's almost like I guess you learn what not to do.
Mm-hmm.
You can identify stuff coming head on before it even gets to you because you can resonate with it, you see it, you feel it, and you can direct it, and you can tell somebody else based off of your pain that you've healed from. Because
Right.
now you tell because we say this all the time on our show. It's not necessarily what we heard, it's what we know. I can tell you based off of my experience, how I've
Mm-hmm.
been through it and overcame it. But if you haven't healed through that pain, you don't have any wisdom, which means we're doing the same thing over and over and over again. And so I would say, I was gonna use a cheap phrase and say it's easier said than done. I won't say that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna stop saying it because everything is easier to just say. So that's a moot point. I don't have to say that. But there's areas in our lives that I think that it's so funny. The hardest thing to do is have a self-checked come to Jesus moment about yourself. When you decide, yo, I'm tripping, I think that it's imperative and important to have accountability partners. Kimmy is one of my accountability partners. Kimmy is what I tell you, and I'm gonna give her a little bit of flowers right now because I got more flowers for her this weekend, whatever. But she's one of those people that's so resilient. And even if she knows, like, okay, he's not going to give me, I need him to be on point. She's going to tell me what I need to hear, whether I like to hear it or want to hear it or not.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to hear, even if you feel like I'm going to feel this shit from him, I'm going to hear it from him, but he got to know. Even if I got to take a little from him, he has to know because it's going to make him better. And hopefully, I'm assuming, speaking from your standpoint, hopefully Ed can reciprocate that. Hopefully Ed would do the same thing. And it's important to have people around you say, yo, you tripping, you out
Mm-hmm.
of pocket, you out of body, that shit is whack. And I ain't got nothing to gain from it. Kim would tell me something, Kim ain't getting nothing out of it. I ain't getting nothing out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Me put you, I'm getting out of it. I mean, we do our show, but shit, she like, I put in the same work you putting in. I'm getting nothing out of it. So you have that person to tell you what it is, and then you say, damn, they ain't got nothing to gain, right? They're telling me what it is, hitting me with the woo wop on my dome, give me 40 to the dome, no cover up, you feel me? That pumpkin head, I gotta take it.
Mm.
And I knew they wouldn't do it to tear me down. So now it's like, okay, because sometimes you have relationships with people like your girl, your husband, your guy, you know what I'm saying? And feel like you're getting something out of it, trying to doing it because out of spite. But now somebody tell you the truth. So you need to have that person around you, whether it's your homeboy, your homegirl, and like you tripping. Then you sit down and be like, all right, cool. Damn. I gotta sit in this. It's wild, bro. It's hard to do that. It's not a simple process. Once you can sit in yourself like, man, I do be tripping. So people don't like when I call them the B word. People don't like me showing up late and like saying I'm gonna do shit, don't do it, not keeping our word. We're doing one of our little segments. People don't like that. I've been hearing about it because you know what I'm saying, I'm brushing them off. My girl just hit me and she ain't winning nothing for it. She ain't getting no prize, she ain't getting no money, nothing. And I came at her after she told me, which is like she knew she was putting her hand in the cookie jar. She knew she was putting her hand in the lion's den, you know what I'm saying? And she still was like, nigga, I'm gonna go ahead and sacrifice. No, I might get my hand chopped off, but I gotta tell you. If she did that or he did that, that must mean they must be telling me the truth. And you got to sit in that and learn and do a self-check. That come to Jesus moment where you're like, damn. Wow.
You
As
do.
Kim would say, wow.
Yeah, you do.
And so you do that, and that should be is again, I don't want to say it's easy said than done, but it's not hard. It's not easy. But you have to do it. It's not easy, but it's necessary. It's just like, you know, working out. People go to the gym. These people that be at the gym, Kim, we be seeing they had these banging bodies. Like, man, this dude got all the muscles. I mean, he in that gym. He in there. We at the crib eating hot dogs and bun buns, you know what I'm saying, watching movies. I ain't gonna lie.
Making it do what it do.
They in there getting it in, and it hurt.
Yeah.
When we sleep, they up there working out, and they going to work, and they doing all the other stuff we doing. They just adding that workout, and they eating better. And we want that. I want that, but I don't want to put in that work. It's going to take that work. It's easy. It's not easy, but it's necessary. So I'll pass that. So that's my opinion on that. My part on that, Kimmy. I'll pass back to you. I don't want to belabor that point, but that's how my take on it.
Well, I mean, even I want to also talk about careers. You know, it's harder to, you experience one thing on a job, so you go to another job and you bring that. Well, I know this and I know that. Working in the medical field for so many years, and experience I just experienced with the worst hospital of Inglewood. Trust me, I got a whole thing to talk about them. I will say that the experience of I just know, and nobody can't tell them nothing simply because I've been doing this for so many years. So people get complacent, even in careers. Doctors been doctors for I didn't see this many amount of patients. Well, you ain't seen me. I'm currently right now a walking medical mystery. That's why, just like me and my PT was talking today, he said, Kimmy, I'm going to tell you. He said, that's why it's called practicing medicine, because we'll never be able to perfect it. He said, I looked at everything. You're 100% healthy as a horse. There's no reason for that to have occurred, right? But yet it did. So at the end of the day, I'm not going to spend a lot of time of my energy of wondering why. A lot of times because that's my experience, right? I can't do that. What I do have to currently experience right now is that I got to focus on making myself better in a way that where I'm at right now. I have the ability to do things that I wasn't able to do a month ago. And that's where I got to keep my focus at. Instead of me keep on, because it can plaque your mind. You can, you like that happened. So, I'm just saying that past things that happen to us really do kind of shape us for what we're going to do in the future. I feel like it can shape you for the better if you allow yourself to get the lesson. There's a reason for everything that happens to us. It's a reason. It's a reason for certain people to come in your life. It's a reason for certain people to exit your life. There is a reason.
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
I don't mean to cut you off.
It's
How
okay.
do you decipher that? How do you figure out? I think there's certain disciplines that we all have. That I think you have. No, we don't all have. There's certain disciplines that we need, and some of them I know you have specifically. on that. And at some point, I like to touch on like what things can you do mentally to kind of address those moments and try to get that blessing out of the lesson. Like, what is there anything once you get to the point? I just wanted before I forget, I wanted to ask you that. Like, what were your tips or your what tools did you use to be like, okay, all right, aha, this that book, okay.
So I literally use my past experience of what God brought me through. See, a lot of times when we in the storm, you hear the weather channel tells you, okay, it's going to be raining. Here come a tropical storm, blah blah blah. So you hear that, and then in your mind, some people be like, it ain't gonna be like that because they like an experience, past experience. It wasn't that bad. But I'm gonna tell you something. I pray before the storm, I pray during the storm, and I pray after the storm. Because even when you think you even killed through something, you're not. But I use my past experience where God brought me from. I remember when I was brought to my knees and that situation at that time, when you in that particular storm, you feel like it's the worst. And then he bring you out of it. And then you can look back. Self-reflection is my number one tool to get to be the better Kim that I want to be in 5 years. Self-reflection. I do a lot of it. Some people meditate, some people do yoga, some do, but I do a lot of self-reflection. It's not first I used to write in my diary when I was a young lady. You're real young. And then I realized that a lot of people might not know this, but if you're going to read for 25 minutes and then take 5 minute break because what you just read is going to stay within your head longer than if you just keep reading and don't take no breaks. That's how I retain information. So when I self reflect on a particular subject for 25 minutes. And then I stop. And then I wait. And then I just let God talk to me. I could be driving. I could be cooking. I could have saw something and just had something, watch a particular show. I allow my mind to be open because a lot of times this is where everything changes. You change your mindset, you change your life. I promise you. We think we know all the answers to things. We don't know shit. For real, we don't. The brain is, we allow it to become limited because you won't allow yourself to think anything past it. I'm a father, so this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm a husband, so this is what I'm supposed to do. That's my man, so this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm a mother, this is what I'm supposed to do. You that and baby and bro, you more than that. But you will never know those things because you don't open up your mind. You stuck in that one storm. Guess what? How many storms did you know there to be? Practically every goddamn name in the dictionary. There have been a storm Diane, John, Joseph. I mean, it's been a whole bunch of them, right? So that's what I do. I count my storms and I do my check marks and I see how God has brought me out of all of them. So when another one come, I'm ready. Even when I get misplaced in my mindset, and Ed can attest to this, I was crying. He still had a straight up poker face, like, you gonna get through this. But at that moment, I had my point. I was vulnerable where I was like, damn. But then God had to talk to me in the wee hours of just me in Dylan's room. And he just said, that's Ed's son, who I got to know very well. You understand me? But it's just me in his face. And then he had stuff on his door when he put that he probably didn't even know it was just for him. And every day I read, every day I woke up and every day I went to bed, it said, get your shit together every day. So my thing was, that's all I had. And I'm still telling myself that today and I'm home. So much to the point to where I said, I need to write this on the index card. Kim, get your shit together. So I'm just saying, it's just talking to yourself and then reminding yourself where you've been, what you've been through, and that you open your mind to say, I want to grow through this. Stop telling yourself an answer that you really don't have an answer to.
You know what's
But
beautiful about that? I'm sorry.
Go
What's
ahead.
beautiful about that? It's a beautiful thing though. Get to that point where you just said like get your shit together. It's a beautiful thing because I have a thing. I want to be able to tell myself
Mm-hmm.
that I need to do better.
Mm-hmm.
I want to tell myself that I did wrong. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to hear it from you, but hearing from you should be just an affirmation. It
Right.
should be, I already know it, and then you all ass see it too, which means my ass is out, right? You know how you be thinking, like, man, I think it's my, you know how women be like, am I nipply? You're not really sure. But
man,
then
do you
everybody
see
like, girl,
this?
you a little bit,
Right.
you know, okay, so y'all see it too. Okay. So you like, okay, I thought I was, but everybody see it. And
It's
so
so
you,
stupid,
you
y'all.
should be able
Great
to,
analogy, though.
right. But you know what I'm saying? You be thinking, you know how you, I know this happens a lot of times. Honestly, she'll wear them, you know, those tights or whatever, those, whatever you call them,
Hmm.
leggings. And some of them be a little bit more sheer. They look like they really thick. And then sometimes you put them on that button, they be a little bit more sheer. And sometimes you don't know that those panties, you see the little hearts, the panty little, the little, the secret.
You can see the actual panty
You can
print.
see, or you can see like the design because the
Right.
stuff is too sheer. And you like, I think they kind of sheer. And you can see in the mirror, but sometimes the lighting ain't the same. But when you go outside and you go in that mall and you go into that store,
Hmm.
oh, that light bright. And them
Hmm.
little Victoria's Secret panty signs is all out. And somebody like,
Hmm.
hey, I don't know, I see all your panties, I see all your ass. And so sometimes you want to be able to see that before you get out there. But if you see it, like I was thinking it all along, but I'm glad you told me that this is a whatever. So um I love that. And I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm so sorry about that, but I wanted to
It's
chime in. I wanted
okay.
to say that
No.
because sometimes just that I am at a point now where that discipline, that point of being heard and like understand, like, oh, I have flaws and I mess up and people don't like shit. I'm past that point. It's kind of like, okay, I'm not saying I'm accepting the flaws. Like, yeah, you know, that's what I do. You know what I'm saying? I say the big word. Fuck. I'm not
Or
saying that.
justifying the flaw. We
Or
don't want
just,
to never justify a flaw.
I don't want to justify it at all.
We want to
I want to
own
be
the
like, you
flaw.
know what? Right. All right, cool. You know what? I really want to be better. I want to do better. So I'm telling myself I'm tripping. I'm telling myself, get up. That same thing you told, like that. I
Mhm.
love you just said, like, Kim, get your shit together. And that's so many different things. Sometimes it ain't just necessarily like, oh, you know, Kim, you doing something bad. It's just more like, all right, I was supposed to close these deals and I'm procrastinating. Get your shit together. I
Mhm.
could have had that done last week. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Or
Right.
like I supposed to call my baby and make sure he had his whatever he needed to have, blah blah, and I didn't.
Right.
Or call my daughter and say whatever, and I didn't. Get your shit
Right.
together. I ain't heard from my daddy. I supposed to saw my daddy this week, which I'm gonna go see him tomorrow. And somebody, oh, I gotta call him by the way. But get your shit together. And I love that. Like you telling yourself,
Mhm.
get yourself
Right.
together. Like
Right.
you said, every day you telling yourself, you seeing
And
this.
it's holding yourself accountable as well as having an accountability person. But a lot of times you get mad at yourself because you don't do what you think you should do. And then you get mad at the person. I can say for myself, I'm really big on being accountable because of being a mother of four sons. I didn't get the elaboration of just being so emotional. So I had to meet them where they were at. So that's why I became more of a big disciplinary as well as holding them accountable, which is hard even now. And my older ones that are grown, they just still don't like it. They like, mama gonna point that out. And sometimes you just don't want to hear it. And even in friendship, just like Ed just said, it might be hard to hear sometimes. And that could make a person like me be like, damn, I don't forget, I don't want to hurt your feelings, I don't this and that. But I learned a long time ago that I'd rather be respected for me being who I truly am than be liked for a replica of somebody I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, is that that's what keeps me going because I want to be looked at the way I see myself. I don't want to just be saying that I'm this person. I want to live that. I mean, you can say whatever you want to say out your mouth, but truly your actions represent who you really is. So when I made a decision in me just to hibernate, and I know we're going longer than Ed and I would like to go, but sometimes subjects do this. I want to say to that gentleman that in the relationship that he's with and he's still upset about his past relationship. And I said I experienced it also starting. I had a relationship like that. And then I also experienced it also when I ended a relationship simply for the fact I just didn't want to be in it no more. It was not working for me. And it was, of course, you don't want to hurt, you don't want this and that. But it was where that I wasn't getting the need that started. So that friend that I was talking about earlier saying that love goes in different phases and that you change every day. The way I love you yesterday, I might not love you today. And that is entirely up to that person. So I can't make you love me a certain way. That woman that he's with right now, she can't force him to do anything. You can't fuck him to death. I'm just gonna keep it 100. You can't cater to him to death. You can't do it. And if you made a mistake, and this is so true, I've lived this shit, so that's why I'm saying it with such passion and conviction. You can hurt somebody, Okay, you can truly hurt somebody. And I don't care what you do. If they simply don't forgive, it's not a damn thing you're going to be able to do. Or they can stay with you, they can be with you, they can do all that and still look at you straight sideways. And you only going to get what you see in front of you of them, but you will
Mm,
never get the real them. And so
mm,
you have to decide for yourself, do you want to spend the rest of your life just accepting that piece? Or you can sit and say you feel a certain way about a job and you like, I need it for the money. Hell, I know I've done it. But when the time is up, are you just gonna keep maintaining that? Putting up with that? You can't keep complaining about something that you keep doing. You know what I'm saying? That's just, just the complaint is just something that just keep going in circle. You have to be the one to make a decision about this is what I learned from this situation. Now, what God want me to do with that? You have to be open minded to receive that message. It's not always an easy message, but you got to be open to receive it.
facts.
So with that, we want everybody to know this is a platform, the Sip and Spill show. We want you all to come on and be able to talk about things that bother you, want to talk about things you simply don't understand. Ed and I never will ever contest to be therapists or ever to say that we are degree, but I'm gonna tell you what we do got degrees in. Okay, we got degrees in, we're 100% certified, and that's called our very own experience and us being us. We are not without mistakes, and we're not without sometimes we just don't get one another or y'all. You know what I'm saying? We still trying to figure out a hell. We don't know when y'all own, when we own. But at the end of the day, all
Facts.
whatever goes on in your life, whatever experience that you experience, and I just said this today, and I'm going to toot my own horn when it say, I'm not for everybody. I'm not, and I'm not ever going to try to be for everybody. But you can't just talk about me. You have to experience me. And everybody is not going to get that close to be able to do just that. My advice, my time, and anything that I might put into anything, it has to be earned. I do this show simply for the fact of the passion of reaching one person. That's all it takes for me. So for however which way you all want to show up, we here for it. This is the platform for it. Don't let your past experience ruin a beautiful blessing that you can have today. Go ahead and take that blessing. If somebody told you I love you, turn right back around, look them straight in the eye and say, thank you for just loving me. For me.
Right.
Be kind, guys, to everybody because something as simple as I was thinking about you today go a long goddamn way. I know somebody that just got a phone call. They was about to kill themselves. And the person called and said, I was thinking about you. And it changed their whole entire life. So
Wow.
you never know. It's okay to be vulnerable. I know we don't want to. You want to be all like that and strengthen everything. But hey, that's how you gain more strength when you can be vulnerable. Just make sure the people that you do it with is worthy.
What's up? All right, guys, like, subscribe, and share on YouTube, especially. Okay, if you see us
Yes.
on YouTube, like, subscribe, and share. Share,
Mm-hmm.
share, share, subscribe.
Share.
Encourage
Yeah.
the people to subscribe. We're doing on Saturday, we're going to do a giveaway, a prize we're going to talk about what we're going to do for subscriberships and that type of thing. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what we on, guys. Looking, we like you, we love you, want more of you. And remember, on this show, it's been real and it's been fun, but every time we do our show, every time you log in, every time you rock with us, it's always real motherfucking fun. You heard me? Holla back at you.